The goal of Cracked Walnut is to foster a love of spoken literature, community, and creativity. The festival is 21 readings happening all over the Twin Cities, a lot in St. Paul, some in North Minneapolis, and the idea is to make these readings accessible to as many people as possible to attend. I'm proud to say that I'm not concerned about the quality of the readings just because of all the talented artists that we have contributing. I know that all of them have something to say. I've heard a lot of them, and I've heard of a lot of them. And so I know that everyone who will walk away from each of the readings will walk away with this feeling of contentment, with this, that there will be something that lingers after every single reading. And because every single reading has a different set of readers contributing, a different set of artists contributing, every single one of them is going to be different.
11. On into Virginia now, turkey buzzers overhead. My sister and I stopped for sweet tea at McDonald's, thinking about long-lost rituals, people in small houses.
It was in September where I decided that this was something that we could just do a lot more with, and I thought of the idea of doing a festival where we could have readings happening in a short span of time with as many different artists as possible and in as many different locations as possible. And the idea was just to make these accessible to as many different people to attend. I just started forming a list of different coffee shops that would be interested in this. Every coffee shop kind of is a community gathering. So when I kind of approached them and said, this is what are we doing, I'd like to do something within your coffee shop for your customer base, they were all very enthused about it. The festival and Cracked Walnut in itself began as an all-volunteer project. The writers are taking part just to be able to share their creative work with new audiences.
Got off on the right foot with my typical enthusiasm for doing unfamiliar things with unfamiliar people on a beautiful spring night. I really don't want to go to the Childbirth Collective, I said. We need a doula. We need to meet Rebecca and see if she's the right one. You're going with. I'll buy you ice cream.
And I would certainly love to do it as an annual event and not just do the festival, but continue to do readings in unorthodox locations. It's dependent on whether I am still in the country. I need a full-time job that grants me a work visa, which has been complicated and difficult to get. I'm sure by the end of the festival, I'll have learned a lot of things. I'll know a lot more about the community. Whether it'll take the same form or whether it'll adapt and change in some way. There's also a part of me that just loves to experiment, and that's always been a part of Cracked Walnut, the experimentation of it. That's how I kind of got to where it is now. If there's thoughts and ideas and feelings that linger, to me, that is good writing. And it doesn't matter if it's poetry, memoir writing, or fantasy, or whatever it is. If there's something that's residual, there's value in that.
Private schools have public addresses. Two-car garage is half empty. Four-bedroom house. Our family has grown to 5. He lives in the basement and writes us monthly checks. We used to keep the heat and water running. Screaming. There is a fire at the firehouse. Run, run, run.